Greetings, noble gentlemen, virtuous ladies, and other creatures of the future who, by some twist of fate or inexplicable curiosity, have stumbled upon this humble transmission. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Alexander Graham Bell, a gentleman of the 19th century, modest inventor, and, dare I say, the artificer of the first telephone that thundered its voice through wires. Yes, I, once called a lunatic for speaking to pieces of metal, now come to speak to a blinking magical box. What irony, by my honor! Now then, I have recently been informed, by means I'd rather not question to preserve my sanity, of the existence of a modern artifact called the smartphone. Smart phone. A telephone that's intelligent? Ladies and gentlemen, I swear upon my most trusted velvet waistcoat, this is high-grade sorcery. In my day, when we wished to speak with someone far away, we sent letters, messengers, or at most shouted from the balcony with a tin megaphone. But now, no. Today, you hold a piece of glass, murmur something to it, and it responds. It responds by all the gods of engineering. And not only does it respond, oh no, it sings, it draws, it shows people inside it without anyone being shrunk by alchemy. It knows the time, the weather, your dog's mood, and I'm told it even refuses to function if not looked at frequently. A pampered artifact, a pocket oracle. And lest I forget, in the name of progress and this peculiar trans-temporal transmission, do not forget to subscribe to this enchanted channel. Yes, I'm told there's a button you must press, as if it were the bell of a Victorian mansion. Ring it, and keep this 19th century gentleman motivated to unravel the mysteries of your mad era. Now, back to the matter at hand. This so-called smartphone seems to have devoured every other device I ever knew. It is a telephone, a photographic camera, a radio, a newspaper, a tavern, a confessional, a diary, a fortune teller, a library, and, astonishingly, even a mirror for youths who gaze at themselves more than Narcissus by the lake. It is remarkable, however, that this little demon is carried by everyone. Yes, everyone. From the infant who still smells of milk to the cane-wielding elder. All are tethered to it as if it were a porcelain baby containing their soul. Now, if I still live, or rather, if my voice still echoes through this future box, then I shall return soon to continue this serious and deeply scientific study of this technological plague. But for now, press that button, leave your subscription, and, for pity's sake, do not call me the grandfather of technology in the comments. We shall meet again soon. May the steam stay hot and the wires well spliced. Well, where were we? Ah, yes, the smartphone. This magical wand of glass and metal that, by all indications, rules your lives more than kings, tsars, or emperors ever dared. Observing you with my 19th century eyes, which, modesty aside, spot folly with surgical precision, I notice a fascinating peculiarity. A new social posture. The entire human race now walks with their heads bowed. No longer in prayer, no longer in reverence to the heavens, but surrendered to the glowing little screen. It's a veritable cult of the bowed head. In my time, a man walking with his eyes on the ground would be suspected of hiding contraband in his boots or having lost a penny. Today, it's the standard behavior. And the thumbs, good sirs, oh, the thumbs. Never before in the history of upper limbs has there been such agitation. Your thumbs move with the speed of a frenzied telegraph, exchanging messages, emojis, don't ask me what those are, pictures of kittens, all without uttering a single audible word. In my day, a man was judged by his voice. Today, he's judged by how many likes his frothy coffee receives. And the strangest part, no one look at each other anymore. It's as if you're all trapped in invisible bubbles, each absorbed in your own digital reality. A silent crowd, eyes aglow with blue light, tripping over poles and falling into public fountains, behavior worthy of a gothic horror novel. And don't give me the excuse of multitasking. In my era, multitasking was smoking a cigar while listening to opera and debating telegraphy. Today, it's watching 4 videos, typing 3 messages, and pretending to listen to your grandmother, all at once. The smartphone, it seems, is a pocket maestro, and the users, an orchestra of friendly zombies, playing their symphony of distraction with great zeal and zero awareness. But don't misunderstand me. There are virtues in this, of course. If you can check the weather, order food, learn Latin, and know the mood of a Korean hamster in real time, then yes, progress has been made. But at what cost? The thumb has gained power, but the eye has lost the horizon. And meanwhile, I, who invented the telephone to bring people closer, now see it transformed into a portal that distances them from everything around them. Bravo! A remarkable feat of reverse emotional engineering. And for now, I bid you farewell with a Victorian exclamation of perplexity. Heavens, where have we tied our technological mustaches?
Ah, love, that eternal stumble of the human heart. In my time, wooing a maiden required a delicate dance of perfumed letters, moonlit serenades, and, if I may say, a well-groomed mustache. But now romance is born and dies within a smartphone. By my honor, I never imagined passion could fit on a 5-inch screen and be measured by likes. They explained to me, with the patience reserved for the elderly and lunatics, that you now meet your suitors through enchanted applications. You swipe left if the person causes visual nausea, and right if they seem worthy of sharing a croissant. It's love, reduced to a thumb's gesture. Cupid has been sacked and replaced by an artificial intelligence algorithm with questionable taste. And when a match is made, oh, modern marvel! Instead of courtship and flowers, you exchange pictures of coffee and messages composed entirely of symbols. The heart now is a red button pressed without the slightest emotional responsibility. And don't get me started on arguments. The smartphone, my dears, is also an arena of glorious battles where couples duel over misinterpreted emojis seen at 5:42 p.m. and, brace yourselves, a lack of response in under 2 minutes. 2 minutes! In my era, that was barely enough time to lace up a boot. Back then, a lover's quarrel took days, dramatic letters, and at least one horseback escape. Today, it's settled with a string of all-caps messages and a passive-aggressive social media post. Yes, sirs, your enchanted little box is simultaneously a temple of superficial love and an arena of emotional gladiators. And the singles? Poor souls. They wander through apps in search of a pleasant face and a profile that mentions loves to travel, as if that were the new version of has a good dowry and robust health. By my inventor's monocle, it's an emotional pandemonium. Everything at your fingertips, and yet so much loneliness. In short, the smartphone promised to bring hearts closer. But so far, it seems more like a myopic Cupid shooting digital arrows at random, heedless of where they land. And so, I leave you with a reflection worthy of a 5 o'clock tea. Is loving through apps progress, or just an elegant way to become characters in a novel written by robots?
Ladies and gentlemen of the future, if there are still ladies and gentlemen, I confess, with all the gravity of a Scottish inventor who has seen too much, the smartphone is not merely a tool. It is a pocket oracle, an electronic prophet that never shuts up, and whose wisdom is, at times, inferior to that of a teaspoon. Let me explain. In the past, if someone wished to know something, say the height of the Eiffel Tower, or the name of the 6th Merovingian king, they had to consult a book, or, better yet, an old man with a mustache and patience. Today, just ask the device. It answers instantly, though, curiously, rarely with absolute truth. But here's the problem, O seers of tempered glass. Your minds have stopped seeking. Instead of reasoning, you search. Instead of memorizing, you trust that the little electronic demon will remind you of your mother's birthday, your grocery list, and, astonishingly, even your own name if needed. Yes, the smartphone knows everything about you. Where you are, who you're with, how much you ate, how many times you blinked last Tuesday, all recorded in its internal mechanisms like a personal diary written by a particularly gossipy spy. And you, instead of living as free men and women, you're now chained to the notification. A sound, pling, and there goes all your attention. It could be an invitation, an ad, or a gif of a seal waltzing. It doesn't matter. The thumb responds with the urgency of a firefighter on a blaze. You'll tell me, but Mr. Bell, this is modernity. I'll tell you, this is hypnosis with elegant design. If a 19th century man walked a modern street, he'd think humanity had been bewitched by a digital sorceress. For everyone walks staring at their hands as if their beloved soul resided there. Yes, dear captives of your own invention, you created the oracle, and in exchange, you surrendered your curiosity, your autonomy, and your attention span, which is now measured in seconds. Oh, if you only knew the joy of waiting 3 weeks for a letter, opening the envelope with trembling hands and reading illegible handwriting that said, "I'll arrive in October." That was emotion. Today, if a reply takes longer than 10 seconds, you assume death, betrayal, or a lost signal. And so, what was meant to be a helper has become a master. And you, cheerful servants of the glowing touch, say good morning to the oracle before even brushing your teeth. By my Scottish beard, how will we escape this digital pit? Is there a way back? Or will we continue, happily doped on dopamine, clicking and swiping until the end of time?
O saints of composure and martyrs of modesty! What sorcery is this that has turned the smartphone into an enchanted mirror demanding public approval? In my era, glorious and full of buttons, portraits were rare, serious, and taken after 7 hours of immobile posing at risk of fainting or dislocating the spine. No one smiled. No one made a duck face. It was a solemn event, almost a funeral ritual in Sunday clothes. Now any citizen, no matter how devoid of flattering angles, raises the phone like Excalibur and takes a selfie. Yes, an automatic self-portrait taken without any regard for lighting, dignity, or context. And not just one,
dozens, hundreds, every day. From above, from the side, with a filter, without a filter, with dog ears or the porcelain skin of a French doll. It's an endless facial carnival. And for what? To offer the image, not to the gods, but to the invisible tribunal of social media, waiting for likes, little hearts, proof that your existence matters because some stranger decided to press a digital icon. By my bent Monaco, what happened to modesty, to privacy, to the right to wake up ugly and stay that way in peace? Here's the tragedy. It's no longer enough to live. You must document. A walk is only valid if there's a photo. A meal is only tasty if it's posted. A face is only beautiful if it gets 37 comments saying gorgeous. You've unwittingly created a cult of image where the altar is a feed and the priest an algorithm that doesn't even like you. Even babies take selfies now. Pets have accounts more popular than philosophers. And I, Alexander Graham Bell, inventor of the voice call, am remembered as that guy with the landline? What historical heresy! And if you think this is just modern vanity, let me warn you, the smartphone is the new magic mirror. But unlike the one in fairy tales, this one doesn't lie, it distorts. And every posted reflection must be prettier, happier, more tanned than the last, until the owner no longer recognizes the face they posted. In the name of good sense and aesthetics, I beg you, at least vary the poses.
Ah, love. The noble and torturous battlefield where hearts duel, where letters are written with smudged ink, where off-key serenades spark eternal passions. Or rather, used to. Because, oh deities of lost romanticism, today courtship is done with a swipe of the thumb. Left for rejection, right for hope. Yes, the rituals of love have been reduced to instant facial judgment, as if every suitor were a tomato at the market. In my era, an era of honor, sweaty nervousness, and well-groomed mustaches, wooing a lady required months of poetry, subtle glances from afar, and, of course, approval from a father with a shotgun by the door. Now, some fellow with a photo taken in a dirty bathroom mirror writes, "Hey, where you at?" And voila! He's authorized to discuss marriage, kids, and the dog's name. What emotional disgrace! And it doesn't stop there. The apps, these celestial digital cupids, don't seek soulmates. They seek hobby compatibility. As if eternal love could spring from a shared taste for pineapple pizza or mediocre series. I confess, nothing shocks me more than the term match. Match, as if two hearts were kindling, waiting for spontaneous combustion at the slightest virtual spark. It's the alchemy of love, crafted by algorithms that, by the way, don't even have hearts. And what happens when the match is made? Oh, the two spend days exchanging dry messages, inappropriate emojis, and memes that would make a medieval monk weep with shame. It's the new flirtation, a festival of misunderstood ironies and delayed typing. In my youth, losing a love letter was a tragedy. Today, losing Wi-Fi is the end of a relationship. And before you think this is all practical and efficient, allow me a prediction. When future archaeologists dig up this civilization, they won't find rings. They'll find screenshots of conversations starting with, "Hey, what's up?" followed by eternal silence. Oh, you who love through Wi-Fi, you live dangerously. A love that needs a battery dies at the first 1%.
Ah, children. Back then, little clumsy beasts, covered in dust,
climbing trees, falling from trees, with scraped knees and imaginations as vast as imperial maps. Today they're priests of a new cult, that of the bright and untouchable screen, before which they bow with wide eyes and half-open mouths, as if beholding a miracle or a particularly charismatic demon. By all the telescopes in my workshop, 2-year-olds wield a smartphone better than many generals wielded their armies. With one finger, just one, they open videos, close ads, play games, summon cartoon creatures with unpronounceable names. It's like watching a pagan ritual, only sponsored by sugary juice companies. And the parents? Oh, the parents. My contemporaries would be horrified. Instead of storybooks, they offer the device as if it were a blue light pacifier. Here, little Edward, stop crying. Take this gadget capable of accessing all of humanity's decadence in 0.3 seconds. The child falls silent, but the soul screams. I ask, what about board games, improvised puppet shows, running around the house with pots on heads and broomsticks as swords? None of that survived. Today, a 4-year-old prefers to watch another 4-year-old playing a game on the phone. It's absurd, theater cubed. And I dare say, the smartphone is no longer an object. It's an electronic nanny, a grumpy teacher, a big brother teaching swear words, and a window to 1,000 universes, most of them utterly useless. If, in my time, we feared that youth read too many novels and became dreamers, today I fear they watch too many videos and become hollow. But alas, perhaps this is the natural cycle. Before, a child wanted to be a knight. Today, they want to be an influencer. Yes, someone whose job is to exist online, to post, to dance, to eat noisily, to live as if life were an endless advertisement. By my honor, if this is evolution, then snails are right to be slow.
We come, at last, to the most insidious trick of the technological demon, the notification. Yes, that little bell from hell that chimes incessantly, demanding attention with the urgency of a royal messenger bringing news of war. Except, instead of barbarian invasions, it's just, your order has been shipped, or someone liked your photo from yesterday with a dog filter. In my era, a bell was serious business. It was either the postman or death itself. Today, the average citizen receives more messages in a single day than Napoleon received in his entire military career. But instead of battle plans, it's memes, slipper promotions, and aunts asking if you've seen that soda cake recipe. It's enough to drive any decent philosopher mad. The Homo sapiens, once a thinker, a dreamer, a builder of bridges and cathedrals, has been reduced to a creature that jumps, palpitates, sweats, vibrates at the slightest sound from their precious electronic talisman. The notification chimes, they obey. The light flashes, they react. They're less sapiens and more hamster. And the tragedy, many don't even notice the prison anymore. They call it connectivity. Oh, what cruel irony, for I've never seen so many connected people, and at the same time, so alone. They walk the streets like Victorian zombies, eyes glazed, tripping over manholes, oblivious that the real world still exists, and by Zeus, it's not on TikTok. I've seen a gentleman cross the street without lifting his eyes from his device, and I say gentleman generously, for I've never seen a horse do something so foolish. But hear me well, modern viewer, there is still hope. If you can turn off that device for 5 minutes and look around, perhaps, just perhaps, a spark of humanity still lives in you.
And now, noble friends, this absurd journey ends. I've spoken to you as a man of the past, but perhaps, just perhaps, I've shown you a mirror of the present. If you found amusement in my perplexity, honor me with a digital gesture of approval. Like, comment with your sharpest wit, and share this chronicle with other time travelers. Oh, and if you haven't yet subscribed to this magical channel of stories and insanities, do it now. By my honor, it's the least a 21st century gentleman can do. We'll meet again in another historical delirium. Or not, if the battery runs out.